Inventory is no longer increasing dramatically week over week. What does that mean for our prices? Let's talk about that and more in this week's segment of Market Watch. Hi everyone, it's Joshua Barks here, associate broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and the Barks & Co real estate team. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch. If you're new to the channel, we talk about the Boise area housing market on a week over week basis. And then once a month, we go into a deep dive into the monthly market dynamics for the entire month and compare that year over year. So last week was our deep dive into the market dynamics. If you want to check that out, the link to that's going to be in the description below. But this week, we're going to keep it short and give you the numbers on our week over week basis. So first off, inventory has been bouncing around for the past several weeks. We all year have been seeing inventory climb and climb and climb, and now we're starting to see it do this. What does that mean? So we had 928 active listings last week. This week we have 917 in all of Ada County. And last week we saw 230 new listings come to market in that 7-day stretch, whereas this week we only saw 205. So yes, thankfully we're still seeing, about 200 new listings per week, but demand is actually staying very consistent. In fact, we've had 215 homes go under contract every 7 days for the last 3 weeks, which is interesting. It's exactly 215. So 215 homes came off the market because they went pending, and then we have 205 new ones that came to market. So we're still in a deficit there. I think that's contributing to our inventory doing that. But what I really think is we might have reached our kind of peak for inventory levels in our area for this year so far, because typically during a normal year, what we usually see is our highest inventory months are going to be the summer months, and then we kind of taper off in the fall, and then in the winter, that's usually when we have our lowest inventory for our area. So it would be very interesting to see if inventory comes up significantly from where we are right now. In fact, I think we're going to start seeing inventory slowly decline as we get closer and closer into those holiday seasons, but it remains to be seen. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. When we're talking about the overall pendings, like I said, demand is remaining very consistent week over week. And we had 885 pending homes in all of Ada County last week. This week we have 879. So that did come down overall pendings so far. But I think part of that is because the number of sales increased this week. So we had 167 homes close last week. This week we had 194 homes close. So staying very consistent on both demand and what actually is being absorbed into the marketplace right now. And one of the really cool parts about what we're seeing in the market is interest rates are still remaining very low, much lower than what we expected to see by this time of year. But interest rates are starting to come up, and the Fed has indicated that interest rates are likely to continue to rise as they continue to taper off buying billions of dollars of mortgage-backed securities. In fact, the interest rate, according to Freddie Mac and their market research that they put together every week, where they poll, I think it's like the top 80 lenders in the nation and do an average, the 30-year fixed right now is 3.05. So that's the highest it's been since April of this year, and it's expected to continue to rise. So if you're in the market to be a buyer right now, right now actually is a fantastic time. As we're getting into the holidays, you're likely going to start seeing less competition like we've seen over the past couple of months, as you have more choices with inventory being at the highest it's been pretty much all year. And then you get to capitalize on having that low interest rate, which is going to help your affordability factor before those come up. And because we're seeing inventory waver and demand stay very, very strong, we're likely not going to see any kind of reduction in prices for really the foreseeable future, at least the next 6 to 12 months. Now, yes, we saw almost 30% growth in the average sales price this year for Ada County. I don't think we're going to see 30% again next year. That would be insane. Instead, I think it's going to be closer to, at least 10%. We're starting to plateau out a little bit, which is, I've kind of talked about in earlier videos about market predictions and things like that. And of course, nobody actually knows what's going to happen. Anything could happen, but based on what's happened in the past versus what's happening right now, in order for prices to start coming down significantly, we would need inventory to probably triple, to have over 2,000 active listings instead of 900. In fact, the 900 active listings that we have right now, while yes, it is up significantly from what we had last year, we're still down from what we normally have this time of year when you go back to 2019. And again, in 2019, we had about 1,000 right now. And in 2013 and 2012, we had about 2,000 this time of year. And I really think in order for prices to begin to actually balance out, we need inventory to come up to like the 2,400 mark to beat that, because we saw both in 2012 and 2013 a great increase in the average sales price. Now, a couple of caveats with that are, one, the population now versus the population then. We have significantly more people in the Boise area than we did in 2012 and 2013. So that's going to be also putting an upward pressure on prices, and maybe that 2,200, 2,400 active listings on the market being a little more balanced is a low number. That is possible. But another thing that I want to say is our prices back in 2012 and 2013 were so undervalued for our area and compared to other metro areas that are similar around the nation, that now we're starting to meet. We're still a little bit lower than what it would be compared to some of the other metro areas in the nation, but we're starting to meet that. So I don't think we're going to continue to see these crazy gains that we have the past couple of years, but I do think prices are going to continue to appreciate. So if you're a buyer right now, I would recommend, if you can afford it and you're looking to move, don't put that on the back burner. Don't wait to try to time the market. And even if you're a buyer or a seller, timing the market is a fool's errand. You know, anybody in the stock market or any kind of financial markets would tell you that time in the market beats timing the market every time. I'll say that again. Time in the market beats timing the market every time. So when you're looking at that, if you have questions about buying, selling, or even investing in real estate, or you're just trying to get your ducks in a row, or something you're considering and you want to get on the bandwagon on what you need to do to prepare in order to move forward towards either home ownership or selling your first home, or maybe moving up or moving down, I'm here for you. I want to be a resource. So send me your questions. You can always call, text, or email. My number, 208-914-1095. And I do have this new thing on my website. I know I've been talking about it for like a month now, so maybe it's not so new. But you can book an appointment with me directly through my website. So you don't even have to reach out to me. You can say, hey, I'm a buyer. Hey, I'm a seller. Hey, I have questions about relocating to the area. And you can actually just book an appointment with me, a few clicks, and it goes right on my calendar. So that's always a great option for folks. And if you have any questions about what's going on in the market, maybe you want to talk about a micro market, a specific section of Ada County or Canyon County, or a specific neighborhood even, and get really specific, just let me know. I'm here to give you any information that I have that can help you make a good decision for you and your family, so that you feel good about your real estate choices and moving forward with that. Okay, I promised this would be a shorter video, and so there it is. That's what's going on this week. We will see you next Friday for another Market Watch update, and until then, have a great weekend.